What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a huge haul, Marvel Legends haul video. Yes, that's right. Marvel Legends. I kind of dipped my toe in the water. The McFarlane stuff was really what pulled me in. The Build-A-Figures, which Marvel Legends has done for some time, especially when it was back when Toy Biz. But I digress. While we get all of this goodies out and ready for your viewing pleasure, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. So when videos like this drop ever so randomly, you are one of the first people to know and can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch it now or later. As long as you watch it, we appreciate you. And so go ahead and do those things while the intro plays and stay tuned for the video. So we got a bunch of toys today. Where I'm going to put them is anybody's guess. I blame Justin Birch from Two Brothers Comics fame for getting me down this rabbit hole, or maybe Sleeping Collectibles and like channels for going down this Marvel Legends hole. But I had been getting the Batman McFarlane figures, like the articulation, like how they look, and all the other kind of stuff. Additionally, I have been doing a few YouTube shorts. If you haven't seen those, go check those out. So, been kind of fun with that. And I've eyed these Marvel Legends figures, these two particular lines of them, or runs. What do they call them? The Build-A-Figure, whatever they call those runs in that series. Thank you, myself. The series, I've been eyeing these two particular series, and I picked up a total of 6 in those two series, a one that's separate, and then also a Transformers toy, which I'll save to last because I'm actually going to open it as well, and got that one at Walmart. So I do want to go ahead and shout out the YouTube channel members who have helped the channel grow. If you're watching this right now on your desktop computer, right below my face, or now this screen here, you'll see a join button and you can click on that. If you're not watching this on a desktop or laptop device, you're watching it on a mobile device or some such thing, you can go to the description below and see how you can become a YouTube channel member. Also, there will be a link for the Patreon members down there. The Patreon members see discounts on books as well as shipping from month to month. And then, of course, the YouTube members have a separate deal there. So shout out to those YouTube and Patreon members. Also, if you are interested in finding out more information about your collection that seems to go up from day to day, you can visit gocollect.com for those collecting questions and interesting articles regarding the industry as a whole, all for free. That's right, free. And if you would want more in-depth analysis, if you're a nerd like me, you can pay a small monthly fee and get that as well. So, I think I'll start with the smallest one because I got 2 in this particular series, but I've seen the other ones around, so I don't think it's going to be that hard to complete the series now that I've kind of committed to it. I had a chance at one time when they first came out. I forget where I was at, maybe somewhere in Alabama, and I saw the whole line, and I said, should I? And of course, those people previously mentioned were like, do it, do it. It felt like Emperor Palpatine, trying to convince me to come to the dark side or something. But this is the toy line associated with what I believe to be the greatest what if story that Marvel has ever told, and that is the Age of Apocalypse. So I might be biased. When it came out, I was right in the heart of collecting, and so it does bring a lot of nostalgia to me. But the Age of Apocalypse was very 90s, very real, all at the same time. And so I got 2 in that line. Now, the one that I got, so I went to one GameStop and I was not committed yet. They had one of these figures, I believe the X-Man or Nate Gray figure is the one that they had. I was not committed yet, so I kind of passed on it. So I went to the other GameStop where I got all of these except for the Transformers, which I got at the Walmart that was behind there. But this is the Sunfire. Pretty cool that eventually the main 616 universe adapted this version of Sunfire as the Sunfire, but this is the one that Apocalypse had toyed with, which is what ended up happening in the 616 universe. So these figures build together Sugar Man. So Sugar Man was a character that came out of Age of Apocalypse. He had not been previously used in the 616 continuity, if you're not familiar with the story. But they retcon him to be the one that basically created Genosha. And so he became that big baddie, and he went through the Micron crystal and went in the past like the Dark Beast did. And the Dark Beast was the one that they retconned to be in charge of the Morlocks, and then Sugar Man Genosha. So that was kind of cool how they did that, and it really fit. But he is the big bad Build-A-Figure here. There are 7 parts to him, 7 parts, and these are the 7 characters that house those parts. Of course, we have Sunfire. I mentioned Nate Gray, Wild Child. There's Weapon X or Wolverine. This is Morph. Yeah, basically that same Morph. And Dark Beast. Dark Beast has that hammer part right there. I know that much. These are some of the arms. And the only bad thing about this is because I'm going to take them out eventually. I'm not going to take out the Build-A-Figures today. I'm going to unbox some of the other ones that are not Build-A-Figures. But I'm not going to take these out today. I'm going to wait until I have all of them, and then I'm going to do one unboxing video for those. So be sure to hit that bell notification and the subscribe button so you don't miss that. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in particular. But David Nakayama has been doing the art on these, and it's so sick in a good way, as my kids would say. And of course, this is the font that they use for back in the day with the X-Men. And so really cool. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to keep all that when I open the box. I've kind of resigned to the fact that if I'm going to open the box, I haven't opened all of my toys, like my Star Wars, one of my Star Wars figures, the Thrawn figure I haven't opened. But if I'm not going to open it, if I open it, I'm not going to keep the package. But let me know in the comments down below, do you believe in opening your toys and letting them breathe? Or do you believe in keeping them packaged? Let me know. But this is the Sunfire toy. So really cool. This is the second part. And so this is the Jean Grey. Not my favorite rendition of Jean Grey, but pretty cool nevertheless. In the Age of Apocalypse storyline, if you're not familiar with it, you can check it out. It's been out since the 90s, so you can get it on various mediums. But they've rehashed the storyline several different times since then. But Jean Grey ends up marrying Weapon X or Wolverine. And so she is not with Cyclops, but Nate Gray, who is essentially Cable in that timeline. They brought X-Man or Nate Gray into the 616 universe there for a while, and they've used him off and on in various different ways over the years since then. But he was the child of Jean Grey and Cyclops, but he was basically done like Madeline Pryor was done in the 616 universe. It was through artificial means. It went through natural means. And so she doesn't hook up with Cyclops in the 616, really. But so she's got the head, and it looks to be like the back of Sugar Man, and definitely not somebody that you want to meet in a dark alley. Talking about Sugar Man. And those are the 2 that I have. So I think I know that I've seen every single one of these, but definitely have seen the Nate Gray around and the Wolverine around, which is really cool because the Wolverine has one hand, but you find out, spoiler alert, that he didn't lose his claws when Cyclops shot off his hand. So in that universe, him and Cyclops had a fight. Cyclops blew his hand off, but he poked out one of Cyclops' eyes, so he's actually a Cyclops. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Let me know what you think about Age of Apocalypse, and in particular the Marvel Legends line, in the comments down below. So the other one is for the Abomination figure. Not that I collect Hulk or anything, but I do invoke the Hulk's name and his fist when I say Hulk smash that like button. But the Abomination. Obviously, the Abomination is one of those gamma-created creatures that the Hulk is known to fight time and time again, whose first appearance in comics I need to be putting on my radar sooner rather than later, before it spikes up even more than it has. So I decided to complete those. And what Marvel or Hasbro do, good business decision, hate it though. What they do is they don't put like same characters, except for like Age of the Apocalypse. So the Age of Apocalypse, they have all X-Men characters, most of the ones I don't want. But typically they're going to put some offshoot guy or gal figure that you're not going to want in the middle of a Build-A-Figure just to force you to buy it because they know you're going to want to complete that Build-A-Figure. And so it's a good marketing decision. I get it. I just don't care too much for it. However, it's much the same. Never mind. I was going to say it's different with this one. It is with Age of Apocalypse, not for this. However, since this is the leader, and that is one of the main foes of Hulk, because he is also gamma radiated in his power set, it goes to his brain, as seen with the very large head. Pause. But he is one of Hulk's main foes, whose first appearance I also need to be getting sooner rather than later. But he has one of the Abomination's legs. So I didn't mind picking this one up as a part of the overall package. Now, this one I did mind. I'm not a huge Miss Marvel fan. No thumbs down, please. If you like Miss Marvel, have at it. I mean, I don't mind her as a character. She's just not one of my favorites. But for people that may be younger or into her, that's perfectly fine too. But I was like, I really don't want that. So I'm probably going to sell this figure separately, and keep the figure, the main chest pieces for Abomination, and then sell her individually. So also another one that I wasn't too thrilled about is Marvel's Mach 1. This is Abner Jenkins suits up for his mobile armor cyber harness as Mach 1. Does anybody know Mach 1 is? Is this a Spider-Man guy? Is this like I don't even know who this is. I don't even. Oh, I think he's a Thunderbolt. Let me know in the comments down below. But now that I'm looking at his suit, seems like he's a Thunderbolt. So, but of course, he had the Abomination's head, and had to pick him up to complete the set. So I wasn't too thrilled about that one. Additionally, Rage, which was a cool character back in the day. He was a part of the Avengers for a little while. Mainly knew him from the New Warriors back when Mark Bagley was doing the New Warriors. Pretty cool series, but he was a cool guy, but I wasn't super fan or nothing. Iron Man, I get it. Captain America, I really didn't understand this one because there's nothing in Captain America. It's just part of the Build-A-Figure, but there's no figure in him. So I didn't get him. And then I'm really not too thrilled about the Iron Man. I'll probably sell the Iron Man one too, as well as the Mach 1 and the Rage when I get those. So those I wasn't too thrilled about, or won't be too thrilled about finishing off to get the Abomination. Just one of those necessary evils, as it were. Again, good marketing. It's aggravating now. Now, this one was pretty cool because in my mind, this is Marvel, Captain Marvel. When I was reading comics back in the day and Captain Marvel died of cancer, it was real life. Here's a guy who took on Thanos, who took on all these different things, stood up, basically was a Captain America type, meaning that He had a lot of honor, integrity, and all that kind of stuff. Ended up dying, and they actually left him dead. He's had several different kids. Another thing altogether that I won't go into, but and people to take up his namesake, obviously Carol Danvers, who goes by Captain Marvel now. But this is the one that I recognize as Captain Marvel. And so I wasn't too sad that he was part of this. And with that, it's a good segue into the next figure. So the next figure was a standalone, and he's big enough to stand alone, and that's Thanos. The segue being is I'm going to set up, because there's several comics. Thanos made his first cover appearance in a Captain Marvel comic. Captain Marvel, while he was alive, was one of the main guys, aside from Adam Warlock, came later. And then, of course, other people as Marvel pushed various characters as being the big hero. But Captain Marvel was the original one. As a matter of fact, Thanos was still dead when Captain Marvel died, and him and Death came and met Captain Marvel and took him into the netherworld or whatever. But so I thought this was really cool. And additionally, is really cool is that he has the old man Thanos head here from the Cosmic Ghost Rider deal. So I thought that was kind of cool. And even though he wasn't really a Build-A-Figure, he is a main guy for the Marvel Universe. I was going to have the Captain Marvel one, so I thought that would be a good one. And of course, now this is the slippery slope that we get into, people. Comics, it's the same way, but I mean, we get into the slippery slope of, well, if I got that one, I gotta have this one, right? So Captain Marvel, or Captain Marvel is the one that fought him time and time again. But do I get the Silver Surfer one? It's a slippery slope for sure. Let me know in the comments down below if you've gotten into a slippery slope with these things or not. So let's take that out. Since I'm not waiting to finish the figure, I'm going to take this out and show you all. Sorry about the sound. What I think about this. Now, do I keep the background? So I thought this would be pretty cool with my Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Gauntlet #1 comic in the background, which incidentally I have signed by Jim Starlin himself, both the Infinity Gauntlet and the deal. I don't think I'm going to keep that. This is the throne. I don't. It's really not that big of a deal, and he's not going to be able to sit down, so he'd be just standing in front of the throne. So it's not that big of a thing to me. But let me know down in the comments what you think. So this is the old Thanos armor, the traditional Thanos armor that he's had forever. I don't think it's very much. He's more like the sleeveless type. Now I guess he's got to show off them big guns. He didn't have his concealed carry permit. Anyway, dad joke. But this is the traditional armor, especially if you grew up reading the Ron Lim as Thanos came back and fighting Silver Surfer going into the Infinity Gauntlet. This is what you would remember his armor looking like. So very menacing. He has this big giant laugh. I really wish there was some articulation right here in the jaw, kind of like the Doomsday Batman. If you recall that one, there's some articulation where you can pull his jaw up and down. That way he can look menacing versus maniacal laughter all the time. But he does have some various fists. And so I don't think it's going to be wrong hand, Jason. So I don't think that it is going to take that long to pull these fists out and change them out. Matter of fact, I can do it in a snap. See what I did there? Another dad joke. Okay. So this is the one where he raises his up and he does the snap. And so it'd be pretty cool to do like a YouTube short. So if you see one, pretend like you never heard me think of this idea. But or if you decide you want to beat me to doing a YouTube short, don't. Seriously though, you can do that, and then says he wipes them out in a snap. You can play that in the background, that clip, and so that would be pretty cool. You also have this right here, and again another left of the gauntlet as he's just got it open. And if you want to change out his head, and so see, this is the slippery slope that I'm talking about. So this is old man Thanos, right? So as known from Cosmic Ghost Rider. So you got to get a Cosmic Ghost Rider, right? They make one, and or get the Silver Surfer Black. Here we go. Here we go. So definitely you got some options there with those, the changing out of the heads. But for the most part, I'm probably going to leave that like this, especially as he is against Captain Marvel. Now you got some articulation where you can kind of like put him on like a uneven plane or whatever and keep him, since he's kind of a wide and heavy figure. You probably shouldn't have no problem keeping him standing up. You don't have to have any extra help with that. You can move his chest up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, you can move. That's about as far up as it goes. And then he can have his fist, and then he can move them out that way. He also turns to look at the various heroes. You could probably do a recreation scene. That would be a good reason to have a Captain America. Have the recreation scene where he's coming down and grabbing his hands. That'd be kind of cool. So even though Marvel is going to be going up against him because Marvel has this abomination, I am going to let that figure stay housed for now. Tell me what you think in the comments down below about the Thanos figure. Now, I had originally, when I was going to get my glass case, which I have still yet to get, if you have seen my room, was to have the various toys originally to go with comics that I had. So I've got the NECA Turtles to go along with my TMNT #1. I had the Hulk 181 scene with him, Hulk, and then I additionally bought Wendigo, so it'd be complete to go with the 181. So I had those, and I could switch them out to go with the toys. That was my original thought, but then in buying the toys, I'm like, man, that's kind of cool. Let's continue to do. What did I say? Slippery slope. Okay. So I had originally bought, thinking that the my sketch cover that you've probably seen me show before, of the moment that Rodimus Prime or Hot Rod becomes Rodimus Prime, that I got the retro toy of that, which is very stale, if you will, not very mobile, and no articulation whatsoever, as it didn't have back in the day. And then I see these. And then this one not only had, and I think they've since come out with another one, but I was like, nah, it's a little too much to worry about. This one's going to do well enough. So I have bought the Cup, the Sharkticon, Grimlock. These are all the newer figures. They have the appropriate articulation. If you've seen my most famous YouTube short, which is almost at 2,000 views, who would have thunk it? If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Maybe you can be the 2,000th view. So these right here, I have kept the boxes on them because they do have some pretty cool back scenes right here. This is, of course, the Unicron scene where he does hold the Matrix up. But I also have that scene on a comic book, immortalized on a comic book. So I'm probably going to do a giveaway for the retro toy. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments down below. Depending on what folks say as to whether or not I go that route or figure out something else to do with it. But, and then just use this one for what I originally intended to do it with, which was to display it with that sketch cover or to do various. So this is, do you call him Hot Rod at this point? Do you call him Rodimus Prime? But much more articulate than what the old version is. Obviously, as technology has progressed, They can do a lot more than what they could do back in the day. He also has the matrix of leadership right here. He has two blasters. He has the saw, which you can take off one of his hands to do. And then these little power the little power showings, I think go from, oh, okay, they go, so the blasters, he can either put them in his hand or on his car. So technically he's still hot rod at this point. And it does say that right there, but but so the power thing, this right here, it goes like on the matrix of leadership. So it gives the semblance that the power is coming out of it. And then these are flames coming out of his jets when you change him, transform him into a car. Transform and roll out. Now, talking about the matrix of leadership, and then this point right here, no hot rod hate right now, okay? So Prime forgave him, okay? So you got him holding the matrix of leadership. Did a certain song come in your mind when he was doing that? if you're old enough to know, you know. So that is going to be a YouTube short coming near you. You know, it's funny because like if these toys existed, especially at the price point that they exist nowadays, you know, my family would have been broke. I got enough toys back in the day, had the whole set of He-Mans, a lot of the Transformers, so on and so forth. But my goodness, there's just so much more available now than what there was back then. And it's funny because it's not really the kids, I don't think, that are buying these things. It's adults that now have disposable income, and they're like, hey, you know that toy that my mom said I couldn't get? I'm just going to get it because she said I couldn't. And I've got the money to do it now. You know, she said, hey, you can't do that. We don't have the funds or whatever else excuse you probably heard, just like myself. And just like, hey, I can do whatever I want to. You're not the boss of me no more. So that's going to be really cool doing that and having him. So the old retro hot rod is technically Rodimus Prime because he has the camper attachment to it. So that's technically Rodimus Prime. I'm going to put them side by side and see if like one's bigger than the other. Then maybe I keep it as a simple show of, hey, this is Hot Rod and that's Rodimus. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested, if enough people are interested in getting that, because I still have the box that Rodimus Prime came out of. I might just do the giveaway for some milestone or something, kind of sub push for other channels or whatever like that. Who knows? But I said that earlier about not keeping the boxes, but because they have this, and then I keep those. And of course, back in the day, they had the little power graphs on the back of all the Transformers toys. You remember those? And you had to have like this little red decoder to be able to really read it. But you always cut those off and kept those. Transformers, they figured it out because they had the higher point for Transformers back in the day. And then they had the cheap ones. So like the cheap ones you could get for like $4 or $5, which was a lot of money back then. But you can get them for $4 or $5. And they were in the grocery stores, and they're very little transforming, but they had several different ones from the cartoons, and you could get them. Then you had the Hot Rods and Rodimus Primes. You had the Optimus Primes. You had the Megatrons. You had the Soundwave, Shock, all them people. So you had those too. So I had plenty of the smaller ones because, go in the grocery store, there's a cheap Transformer and get it. But as far as the bigger ones, those are a little more scarce. Like, for example, like with the Insecticons or any of the other Build-A-Figures, I never could get those. They just weren't as plenteous in my area for whatever reason. Like Grimlock, never could get Grimlock. Never could get Grimlock. So I was like, there, I'll show you. I got Grimlock now. I think it was it Sludge? It was Sludge the Brontosaurus. Might be getting him mixed up with the Triceratops. But I had him, but that was the only one I had. The Matrix. I dropped the Matrix. So that is the Matrix there. And then like this goes behind the Matrix. Light our darkest hour. Arise, Rodimus Prime. What song just went off in your head? And then those are the flames from the jets. So really don't need that. I'll fix that. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about these toy pickups. Are you picking up any of the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure series? I saw the Joe Fix-It one, which is Hulk. Not that I collect Hulk or anything, but that would be kind of cool as well. But I wasn't really impressed. The strong guy, it's got a lot of the X-Men, so I kind of was rationalized that one in my mind. But look, the X-Men are like rabbits. I mean, they got a billion of them if you wanted to do like an X-Family montage. Another rabbit hole. Not something I needed. Certainly not the space for that. But I do appreciate everybody for taking the time to watch this. I do want to give another shout out to the YouTube channel members. Descriptions in with the links below. You can get that information and see if that is right for you. Then also visit gocollect.com for all your collecting needs. Until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.